Have hackers ever caused a blackout in your city? Could a cyber attack shut down the power plant or water facility in your community? Critical infrastructure like energy and water are vulnerable to cyber risks that could wreak havoc. But how aware are infrastructure operators about increasing digital threats, and what can they do to lock down their industrial control systems? Welcome back to Aracrotegius Technology College, your trusted source for cybersecurity advice to help protect critical infrastructure. In today's video, we'll examine one of the most common types of systems used to monitor and control critical infrastructure, SCADA technology. Let's dive in. Critical infrastructure refers to the assets, systems, and networks that are vital to a nation's security, economy, and public health. Some examples of critical infrastructure include energy production and distribution, water treatment facilities, transportation networks, and communication systems. As our world becomes increasingly interconnected through the internet and network technologies, critical infrastructure is also becoming more dependent on information and operational technology known as IT and OT, respectively. This convergence of IT and OT has many benefits, such as allowing for remote monitoring and more efficient operations. However, it also introduces new cybersecurity risks that need to be addressed. SCADA systems are commonly used to monitor and control equipment in industries like energy, water, transportation, and manufacturing. We'll discuss the unique security challenges that SCADA systems face, provide an overview of common threat vectors, and share best practices that organizations can employ to reduce their risk of a cyber attack. Protecting SCADA systems is crucial for ensuring the continuous operation and integrity of our national critical infrastructure. SCADA systems were designed to maximize functionality and performance, not security. They utilize proprietary software and hardware, and traditionally have been air-gapped, meaning physically isolated from external networks. However, the benefits of connecting SCADA environments to the internet and corporate networks have led many organizations to integrate their IT and OT systems. While this integration provides more data accessibility and remote monitoring capabilities, it also opens up SCADA systems to cyber threats that they were never designed to handle. Some of the most common cyber attack vectors include physical attacks. Because many SCADA system components are located in the field, they can be subject to physical tampering. Attackers may attempt to access field devices in order to reprogram them or sabotage equipment. All physical access points should be monitored and controlled. Malware attacks? Malicious software like Trojans and viruses can be introduced into SCADA environments via infected USB drives or other removable media. Stuxnet, a famous piece of malware designed to target nuclear infrastructure, was infiltrated into Iran's Natanz uranium enrichment plant via an infected USB stick. Social engineering attacks. SCADA system operators can be tricked by phishing emails or phone calls to divulge sensitive information or grant an attacker remote access to the system. Social engineering exploits the natural human tendency to trust. Insider threats should also be considered. Disgruntled employees familiar with how a SCADA system works may be motivated to abuse their access to cause disruptions. SCADA cybersecurity requires a multi-layered defense-in-depth approach. Some best practices that organizations should implement include: the SCADA or OT network must be segregated from the corporate IT network through physical separation and logical controls. A demilitarized zone, DMZ, can be implemented to house any systems that need to interact between the OT and IT environments, such as data historians and HMI stations. Within the OT network, further segmentation should be used to isolate the most critical components. Firewalls with whitelisting rules should manage traffic flows between network zones. Unidirectional gateways provide an alternative architecture, allowing outbound data from OT while completely restricting any inbound connections. Proper network segmentation limits lateral movement and enforces the principle of least privilege access. Robust identity and access management is essential for restricting unauthorized users and enforcing permissible actions. Individual user accounts should be provisioned through Active Directory or LDAP, with role-based access rights depending on each user's duties. Generic or shared accounts should be avoided. Strong passwords must be mandated along with password rotation policies. For remote access to the OT network, multi-factor authentication should be implemented using mechanisms like smart cards. Each user's access must be reviewed periodically and accounts deactivated when no longer needed. Integrating an existing IT system for identity management into the OT environment can improve efficiency of access controls. Like any software, SCADA systems and components contain vulnerabilities that could be exploited by an attacker if left unpatched. Organizations must implement continuous processes for identifying, prioritizing, and remediating known vulnerabilities through patching, upgrades, or workarounds. Regular asset discovery and inventory enables enumeration of all assets on the network, along with their associated CVEs. Centralized patch management tools can automate deployment of patches across IT and OT environments. For legacy systems that cannot be patched, additional monitoring and segmentation is recommended to minimize exposure. Understanding your vulnerabilities is the first step toward mitigating risk. Continuous monitoring of SCADA network activity enables threat detection and incident alerting. Intrusion detection systems, IDS, can passively monitor network traffic and endpoint behavior for signs of compromise like unusual commands or connections. Antivirus software detects and blocks malware. Data loss prevention tools monitor for unauthorized data exfiltration attempts. Centralized security information and event management, CM solutions aggregate and analyze logs from all sources to identify anomalies. Active monitoring should occur both at the network perimeter and enterally at multiple layers. Strict logging requirements should be enabled on all infrastructure components, with logs forwarded to the CM for visibility. Monitoring and logging provides the visibility to detect threats early and respond quickly. A formal plan for responding quickly and effectively to cybersecurity incidents like ransomware attacks can help minimize their impact. Reporting protocols and disaster recovery processes should be defined. Regular cybersecurity awareness training is essential for educating SCADA operators and other employees on threats and policies. Avoiding behaviors that increase risk is just as important as technical controls. Defense in depth means having layers of protection, so that if one mechanism fails, others are still in place to prevent a cyber attack from succeeding. For highly sensitive SCADA systems, an air gap may even be maintained between the most critical components and the rest of the network. While no single solution can make a SCADA system 100% secure, the combination of physical and cybersecurity measures can greatly reduce risk. In today's connected world, critical infrastructure like power plants and manufacturing facilities face an ever-evolving landscape of cyber threats. Legacy SCADA systems were designed without cybersecurity in mind, making them vulnerable to attacks. Integrating these industrial control systems with standard IT networks provides efficiency and accessibility, but also expands the attack surface. The digital transformation of critical infrastructure delivers efficiency and accessibility, but also expands the attack surface for malicious actors. Legacy industrial control systems like SCADA were simply not designed with cybersecurity built in, but with the right strategy and controls, asset owners can reduce their risk substantially. Have you implemented security controls like network segmentation in your industrial environments? What challenges have you faced when trying to balance connectivity and security? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest threats to critical infrastructure, as well as technology solutions for defense in depth. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.